We've had a bunch of news today. As I'm sure you've already heard, Brock Purdy has cleared the concussion protocol and will play against the Bengals. Phenomenal news. But obviously, some additional news with the trade situations that are percolating across the NFL. As you guys know, the trade deadline is on Halloween, Tuesday, October 31st. And it is being reported that 49ers John Lynch is calling around looking to see who is available. From Diana Rossini of The Athletic, apparently John Lynch is looking for edge and cornerback help, and that is in line with where I think a lot of us believe the San Francisco 49ers need additional help. So what players could potentially be added at the deadline that would actually help the 49ers moving forward? There have been a bunch of names that have been swirling around, and obviously we've heard about the Washington Commanders, about how both their top tier edge rushers are effectively for sale and going to go if the price is right. Montez Sweat and Chase Young have both been made available at the deadline and could be had for a second or third round pick. This was reported earlier in the week. Is that something that the San Francisco 49ers would try to do? It has been reported as well that the Carolina Panthers aren't actively shopping Brian Burns and aren't planning on trading him, but you never know. Crazier things have happened, and I'm sure if a team comes with a solid offer, maybe the Panthers would be willing to trade Brian Burns at the right amount. We'll see. It was also reported today that Patrick Surtain doesn't appear to be available via trade. And now we've heard a bunch of conflicting reports about Surtain. We've heard that he's not for sale. Then we've heard that the Denver Broncos are listening to offers. And then it's back to no, we're not trading him. I thought it was going to be really difficult to trade for Patrick Surtain to begin with. I mean, you can look at what Jalen Ramsey went for back in a couple years ago, more than 2 firsts. So I don't really anticipate the 49ers being in that conversation. And I really don't think Patrick Surtain gets moved. But maybe another cornerback, maybe Kenny Moore from the Colts, the slot nickel cornerback, could potentially be on the move. And maybe that would be a fit for the San Francisco 49ers. He brings veteran leadership. He's had Pro Bowl, All-Pro nods, and he is a veteran player with a ton of veteran savvy who can play in a high level out of the slot nickel. And maybe the 49ers feel like they want to upgrade at that position, and they go with a big-time veteran from the Colts. It is going to be interesting to see what the 49ers ultimately do. I do think they are going to be active, and I do think some trades will come to fruition. We just don't know what just yet. Daniel Jeremiah on the Move the Six podcast had some thoughts about what the San Francisco 49ers could do at the deadline. Take a listen to what he thinks the 49ers could potentially go and get.
All right, I think we're missing something here, guys. I'm looking at this stuff. Let me give you some information here. You know the team that has the most salary cap space right now? It's the San Francisco 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers. Okay. We've talked about it forever. We've talked about it forever about the collision course that the 49ers and the Eagles are on, okay? Mm-hmm. Let's go back to last year. What does Kyle Shanahan do? He goes out and gets McCaffrey, and that took their offense to another level. You look, the Eagles already made their move. They went out and got Kevin Byard, a multi-year Pro Bowl safety to fill a void for them. So they've made their move. It's time for a counter move. And when you look, I was looking up the 49ers draft picks next year, because they've made trades over the last few years. They have a 1, a 2, that with 2 comp threes, they'll have 3 threes. They have 2 4s. They have 2 5s, 2 6s, and a 7. So you have a team that's pushed all their chips all in. You've got a quarterback on a rookie deal. You've got the most cap space. The team that you're on a collision course with has already made a move. I don't think this is going to be a tiptoe move for Kyle Shanahan and for John Lynch. I think they do something big, man. They are all in right now. So to me, gotta be. I don't know who the biggest name you want to come up with. We talked about wideouts. Maybe get somebody can take the top off. Is that Sutton? Is that Jerry Jeudy? I don't know. Is there somebody bigger out there? I mean, McCaffrey is darn as near as big a name as you can get, and they went and got him last year, Buck. I mean, I think we're missing something with this team. Keep an eye on the 49ers because it doesn't feel like this is a team that's going to go quiet. This feels like a team that's ready to make a big, bold move.
Yeah, so if you think about big, bold moves, I mean, there are a couple of ways that you can look at it. If you look at it at the wide receiver position, what about the KG veteran down in Tampa who's not happy with his deal, Mike Evans?
Mike Evans.
Look, you talk about a rental. A rental agreement where they could take him, put him in the mix, give him another big body. You talk about that 11 personnel package and how you have to defend that with Christian McCaffrey in the running game. That certainly would change it. The Niners are always interesting because you talk about the arms race that is the battle between the Eagles and the Niners. When the Eagles went and got Kevin Byard, it is almost, hey, man, you need to have a checkmate move if you're the 49ers. Don't know what that is, but it has to be something big because right now you look at the Eagles roster with Julio Jones, who is not the same player, but they are certainly going up. They're trying to load up for Bear when it comes to the postseason run.
Yeah, Judy. So, I mean, those are the names we've been talking about for months, it feels like. What about Marquise Brown? What about Hollywood in Arizona? Obviously they've been competitive, but I don't know that they've got playoff designs here. I mean, he's definitely a guy that gets up and down the field pretty quickly. I don't know if that strikes you as the, as that kind of haymaker trade that you're talking about, Deej, but just kind of thinking about other wide receivers out there. I don't know. You got any others in mind?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the only other thing I can think of is I'm just looking through the list, and research did a great job, and I think Drew might actually be research on this project, but with a bunch of names that have showed up in different articles, right? Just different names. Well, the most talented player that we've seen show up on these lists is Brian Burns. So even though I'm thinking offense, and they're going to try and do something to juice up the
defense,
offense, maybe it's just, hey, what are you going to do when we've got Nick Bosa on one side, and now we've got Brian Burns on the other, and we've got Hargrave and Armstead inside, like. Maybe that's what they do, but they've got the assets, they've got money, they've got picks, and they're all in. So that's maybe that's the biggest name that I can come up with on this list, Buck. But it just feels like there's no way we get to Halloween and the 49ers haven't done something.
I obviously love that Daniel Jeremiah is talking about Brian Burns. I think that would be the ideal fit for the 49ers, but maybe it's too expensive, and the 49ers pivot to a guy like Montez Sweat. So it's going to be very interesting to see what the 49ers ultimately do at the deadline and if they pull the trigger and make a trade. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Who do you want to see the San Francisco 49ers go after and add at the deadline? Drop it in the comments, and as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.
Roll your sleeves up, a little more, wear a warm-up jacket, and go out there. You can see that they're looking at us, they're crazy. And I think it gave us